Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches. Each week you're seeing these videos, we are getting closer and closer to Christmas and it's coming around super quick. I do want to apologise in advance if I sound a bit congested. We're recording this on Monday and the weekend was pretty brutal. Our daughter is teething quite hard, so there's not been a lot of sleep and it's obviously caught with me in the form of a cold, so I do apologise, but it's no COVID, so don't worry. But today, yes, we've got 11 watches ranging from an incredible Tudor Snowflake, really beautiful example. I'm looking forward to showing you guys and girls this one a bit closer. A double-signed Heuer Carrera. We've got really absolutely everything you can possibly imagine. A vintage bull of a chronograph. Yeah, it's incredible. It's really, really great drop. I think you guys and girls are going to really like this, and I think there's truly something for everyone in this drop, depending on your price point and what you're after. Something here is going to totally tick it, and obviously we are so close to Christmas now. With all the strikes going on, obviously it's making it quite difficult to make sure we can guarantee everything by Christmas, but we're doing our best. We are using DHL Express for the UK and obviously the rest of the world as well. The final order date, according to them, is around the 23rd of December to get it before Christmas. However, I would suggest the 21st or the 22nd to be the true cut-off date, just to be sure to give that extra time, because obviously with the Royal Mail strikes as well, that's going to put extra strain on all of the other couriers. So do keep this in mind and just really order as far in advance as you can if you want it before Christmas. We've also made the announcement of when we are going to be closed for Christmas. We're going to take a longer than usual break this Christmas. We will be closed on the 23rd of December and back on Monday the 9th of January. So quite a long break. So obviously if you order during that time, it's safe to say you won't be getting your watch until the new year. However, I may come in 1 or 2 days during that time just to process our orders. I won't be announcing what these days are, and I won't be making any, statements. The reason being, I want to be able to come in, package up orders, get them shipped out, and then head home. So I appreciate the patience and sort of the understanding with that. But yeah, it's going to be a good Christmas this year. I hope you're all excited, ready. If you haven't got your gifts, head over to kibblewatches.co.uk. There's plenty on there in terms of watches if you're after a watch, either for yourself or a loved one. Or accessory wise, we have some beautiful watch straps, and we also have the Case in Time cases, which make a fantastic gift for Christmas. And before we dive into the watches on the table, let's take a look at what is on wrist. I'm wearing my Fears Brunswick Brown, one of 5 in the world, and we actually have one for sale as of the time we're recording this video at kibblewatches.co.uk. So Kibble Watch is in possession of 2 of 5 in the world, which is kind of amazing. So head over there, pick it up if you're interested. You guys and girls know I love this watch. I wear it regularly, and obviously we are the official stockist for Fears watches here in the UK, and we also are sort of the unofficial pre-owned seller of modern Fears as well, so you can find plenty of those on our website too. But now that all of that is out the way, let's dive into the watches, which is obviously what you're here to see, and we're going to have to start with the Tudor Snowflake. It is absolutely gorgeous. Let's take a closer look. What a watch to begin this week's episode with. What you're looking at here is a beautiful Tudor Submariner in 40mm, nicknamed the Snowflake, obviously for the iconic Snowflake hands. Now, this watch is obviously what inspired the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue. I do wish my only criticism of the 58, I wish they did the square indices rather than the round, just like this absolutely beautiful original example. Maybe one day in the future they will, but the reference to this one is 9411/0, and this one is from circa 1981. It is all original, as you can see. Really beautiful blue dial, blue bezel, which is faded perfectly. Also, the lume has patinaed really, really nicely, as you can see, and just looks incredible. Date over there at 3. No Cyclops on the crystal. You will read differing things on whether that's correct or not. I mean, there's some people out there with them for sale without the Cyclops, some with. It's very difficult to tell. I suspect they probably did without and with, but we just don't know. Nice original Rolex crown, obviously Rolex caseback, Rolex bracelet. We've got the bracelet reference and the clasp reference on the website, so you can see that. The Clasp is a later upgrade to the bracelet, so that way you've got the nice folding lock. To me, that doesn't bother me, but to some of you guys and girls, you know, we put all this information there so you can choose for yourself. It does have the dive extension as well, and its nice original case back. Right there, you can see case by Rolex, proudly stated. And inside, beating away inside here, is the automatic ETA 2784, a very reliable ETA movement, running beautifully as you'd expect. Really gorgeous watch, as I say, circa 1981. Doesn't come with any box and paperwork, and it comes with 11 links total. More links can be sourced if required. We don't have them on site, but we can probably get you them. I will try, if you purchase this before Christmas, I'll do my best to get them before Christmas if you need them, but it may be after Christmas, so do keep that in mind. Obviously drilled holes for the lugs as well to swap out, nice and easy, but let's show it on wrist and taut dimension. And here it is on my 7-inch wrist. Now I'd probably have to move the clasp up 2 or 3. It is all the way extended, so that gives you an idea. It will fit about 7.15-ish wrist for reference. So 40mm by 47.5mm lug to lug, 14mm thick and 20mm lugs. Now me personally, I would rather this than a vintage sub. That's me personally. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. It's got more character, more charm, but at the end of the day, the Rolex sub is the Rolex sub, so I understand if people don't agree with me. But let me know down in the comments, what would you rather have, a 1981 Submariner or a 1981 Tudor Submariner Snowflake like this? Check it out on the website today. From there, we're going to switch gears over to a vintage Heuer with the Gubelin signature down at 6 o'clock. This is one of the nicest examples I've seen, and you have it double signed as well, so it's kind of got everything going for it. It's really beautiful. Let's take a closer look at this one. Here we go. One of the nicest Heuer Carreras I have personally had in stock or seen, and it is a Gubelin signed, as you can see right there. Gubelin was a retailer, and still is, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, you don't see them signed often, so when they are, it certainly adds a bit of value. You be the judgment of how much value this adds. At the end of the day, it's rare, and when you've got rarity combined with quality and condition, then you are onto an absolute winner. You can see really beautiful original dial, original loom, which is patinaed beautifully. Some of the loom is missing from the minute hand. Not uncommon, obviously, for a watch of this age, and we're talking 1960s. Really gorgeous case. Just great condition overall as well. This whole package just adds up as a beautiful example. The reference to this one is the 3647, and inside is a manually wound Heuer Leonidas caliber 92. It is both signed Heuer and Leonidas, which is correct for the period, and as I say, circa 1960s. You've also got the serial engraved in between the lugs, again correct for the watch. This is just a really good, really nice example, and these kind of examples do not come up often. I was having a phone call with a customer recently talking about vintage, because he's never bought vintage and he's thinking of getting into it. And it's a complete different mindset and shift of mindset when buying vintage than when it is buying modern. Everything is about condition, and condition does equal value, and that's something to keep in mind. So let's show it on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist, a beautifully proportioned chronograph. I love this kind of stuff. 35.5mm by 45mm lug to lug, 11mm thick and 18mm lugs. Endless options on the strap if you're not a fan of this combination. I think it works perfectly and actually matches the loom and just looks beautiful. So go check this one out on the website today. From a vintage Heuer Carrera, let's go over to a tag Heuer Carrera caliber 6 chronometer with the sub-seconds. A really gorgeous watch, actually. I remember when this was released and I thought it was very nice. Sort of heritage in design, but still really classy. Let's take a closer look. Next up, a fantastic tag Heuer with the Heuer logo stated right there. The Heuer Carrera chronometer caliber 6 with the sub-seconds and the date perfectly positioned. You have a Heuer signed crown as well, Heuer caseback and Heuer buckle. I think these heritage editions that Heuer or Tag Heuer do are fantastic, and I think it's really good to see them still honouring their history and their heritage and doing it beautifully. This to me is fantastic. You have that classic Carrera shape and design, but you have a modern dial with the pops of blue and red, which contrast beautifully, and a rally style, sorry, I can't English today, rally style strap with a deployant as well. I just think it's beautifully done. So the reference to this one is WV5111.FC6350, and inside is an automatic Tag Heuer caliber 6. And this one's from 2017 with its box and paperwork as well. A really good example in very good condition. And these certainly have a bit of a following. It's kind of amazing to see just how many people still absolutely love this model and are searching for it. So I don't think this one's going to stick around long. But let's show it on wrist and taut dimension. And here we go. On my 7-inch wrist, you can see proportionally that is incredible. What you're looking at is 38.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, 11.5mm thick and 19mm on the lugs. A little bit awkward on the lug length, but there are options out there. So if you're a fan of this on a brown strap also looks fantastic and tones it down a little bit as well. So go check it out on the website today. From there, let's go over to our watch we've had a couple of times and it's gone down super well every time we've had it. That is the Kurono Tokyo Grand Hagne. Not a clue how to say it, butchering it every time, but a really cool watch with an amazing dial. So let's take a closer look. Next up, we have the beautiful Kurono Tokyo Grand Hagne. I am butchering it. I butcher it every time and I do apologize, but a beautiful watch with a super unique finishing as well. This is one to go read upon about on the website. We go into detail about how this dial is made and also the fact it will change over time as well, and each one is unique. I find that truly fascinating. This one's from March 2022. It is brand new and unworn, and inside is the automatic Miyota caliber 90S5 beaten away, which is one of the higher grade caliber Miyotas as you'd expect from Kurono Tokyo. The finishing is fantastic. The dial is mesmerizing, and everything about this for me is all about the dial, and I think Kurono Tokyo are very Japanese in that sense, in perfection, and I think this is zero exception. You can see the buckle still stickered and still taped up. The case is as well, but we've taken it off just to quickly show you, and it's original strap as well. But let's show sort of on wrist and taut dimension. Here we go on my 7-inch wrist. I've not fastened it obviously to keep it brand new for you guys and girls, but here we go. So what you're looking at right here is 36.5mm by 43mm lug to lug, 11mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. Really beautiful watch and one well worth checking out on the website today. From there, I want to switch it up to a couple more vintage pieces, and we're going to start with my favourite on the table, believe it or not. This is a beautiful Bolivar. I'm calling it the Devil Diver because 666 feet, but this is the Devil Diver chronograph, a really beautiful example. A faded grey blue dial. Yeah, this is fantastic. I wanted to keep it, but I can't keep everything. I want to do that. So this one is obviously coming up for sale. Let's take a closer look. Next up, it is Bolivar Devil Diver chronograph time with this absolutely gorgeous chronograph. This is everything about vintage that I love, and everything about vintage Bolivar that I absolutely love. A brand that today is often overlooked, fair enough I guess, but vintage Bolivar is something not to sleep on and not to ignore. Truly beautiful Swiss made watches. This one has its original Bolivar crown, which I've never seen on these models. Really nice nut case back as well, with everything stated proudly there. And beaten away inside is the manually wound Valjoux 7733. So again, no corners cut with the movement. This is actually a movement that vintage Heuer used quite a lot as well. So again, you're getting something truly incredible. And then we've got to talk about that dial and the bezel, all original, patinaed beautifully and faded to this bluey grey colour, which I think looks truly beautiful. And again, a very lovely example. One thing to make note, it is a friction fit bezel, and the bezel was seized. So we have loosened the bezel, but what it means now is it is quite free flowing. But as time goes on, that will probably stiffen up a little bit and become a bit more stiff again. So don't worry about that. But either way, for me personally, I can overlook these things on vintage watches because expecting perfection, as much as we wish we could have it with vintage, it just isn't happening. There are always going to be little things, you know, whether it be condition based, you know, a couple of scratches here and there, or whatever it is. For me, I can overlook. But yeah, go check this one out. Oh no, we need to show it on wrist. Let's show it on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go. On my 7-inch wrist, you can see even more so now why I wanted to keep this for myself. Paired beautifully on a grey suede. You know, I think it just makes that blue pop even more. So what you're looking at is, and this is circa 1971, I think I forgot to say that in the previous one. 38mm by 45mm lug to lug, 15mm thick, and a lot of that thickness is coming from that heavily domed crystal, so do keep that in mind, and 20mm on the lug, so for if for some reason you're not a fan of the grey suede, you can swap it out on something else. But go check this one out on the website today. From there to a fantastic 1973 Hamilton W10 military watch. These are brilliant. They don't come up often in fantastic condition because obviously they were true military watches, used and abused as they often were. And this one had never been opened prior to us servicing it and replacing the crystal because it needed it. The crystal was long gone, cracks and all sorts, but it looks fantastic. So let's take a closer look. Next up, British military Hamilton W10 time, and this is a beautiful example. As I said in the intro, this one had not been opened prior to us working on it. The condition underneath, well, externally the crystal was absolutely messed up, so we have replaced the crystal, but I could sort of see underneath the dial was immaculate, and I'm very pleased to say that is one damn clean dial, and the loom is beautifully and evenly patinaed. This is a very good example. I'm always looking for really good examples of these, and they can be quite difficult to find. Often, reloomed or whatever it may be, just over time, things happen. These were reissued a lot of times as well, so they were made functional by adding better loom or relooming or whatever it may be. This is a really good example. Case is nice and strong. It still obviously has its fixed spring bars, which is an important aspect of the watch. And as we take off the NATO strap, you can see all the military markings proudly stated right there. This one is circa 1973. As you can see, maybe a birth year watch for any of you out there. This would certainly make a great choice. We have it paired on this sort of green and black or grey and black NATO, which I think suits it beautifully, but obviously with a watch like this, any NATO strap is going to look good, a plain grey or whatever it may be. But let's show, inside is a manually wound Hamilton caliber 649, but let's show it on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Again, this is where the W10 just works so well. This is 36mm by 41mm lug to lug, only 10mm thick and 19mm on the lug. So yes, a little awkward on the lug length, but not the end of the world. At the end of the day, military NATOs are often 19mm. So go check out this beauty on the website today and pick yourself up a great deal because these are just getting harder and harder to find. From there, let's go over to a Bell & Ross Heritage in all black. This looks truly fantastic with a little sub-seconds and date, nicely positioned as well. Let's take a closer look at this one. Next up is Bell & Ross time. This is the Bell & Ross Vintage range, which I think are fantastic. Obviously, Bell & Ross are known for their square cases. I also love those, but I think some of their vintage line with these more traditional cases look fantastic, and this combines both vintage and sort of heritage all combined together for a beautiful package. You can see you've got sub-seconds nice and small down there with a date perfectly positioned and sort of hidden away. Beautiful faux patina, and you can see it is in very good condition. This is a black coated case, and there are a couple of marks just there that need to be pointed out, but other than that, the case is in pretty much good condition. Sticker still on the case back as well. As you can see, a nice sort of style case back, very military in style. And we've got it paired on a Dakota, really well suited leather strap, but it does also come with its original strap with a black buckle, as you'd expect as well. But we've just got it paired on this because I think it looks good. So this is the BRV 123-Heritage, and inside is the automatic BR caliber 305, and this one's from December 2020 with its box and paperwork, as you'd expect. So let's throw it on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. I love how this watch looks, and I think it wears very well considering the size. What you're looking at is 41mm by 50.5mm lug to lug, 12.5mm thick, and 22mm on the lugs as well. So endless options for swapping out straps, but I think these two we've got works so well with it, so go check it out on the website today. From there, let's go over to a Mido, often nicknamed the Rainbow. This is a fantastic dive watch based on a vintage watch. A lot of you guys and girls will know that. Really great reissue. I think they did a very good job, and the prices are fantastic as well. So let's take a closer look at this one. Next up, the Mido Decompression Rainbow Diver, as it's often nicknamed. So this watch back in the day was a very special dive watch because these colours actually had a benefit. As you got deeper, the colours would sort of stay brighter for longer than other colours, so that's why they did it. It wasn't just to make this colourful rainbow watch, it had an actual purpose. Now obviously today, with luminescent material we use and everything like that, you don't really need all these crazy colours. However, it looks kind of cool, and obviously it's based on the vintage model. Now this one is a Hodinkee limited edition that they did, which is really cool. and it just looks fantastic. Really great looking watch. This one's from August 2020 with its box and papers. It's paired on its Mido mesh bracelet, and spare straps are included, including a really cool 2-stitch strap that has multiple colours on it to sort of reflect the rainbow, which I think looks really cool. I won't bore you with the reference because it is a long one, and inside is the automatic Mido caliber 80, a very reliable move. And Danny just sneakily bought these in. So here's the straps. You have this really nice canvas style with yellow stitching, and this really nice smooth black leather with, as I said, the rainbow stitch colours. They look fantastic. So yeah, you get all those with it. And just to add, these are brand new and unworn, these straps as well, and the watch is worn but very lightly. It's in fantastic condition, and this watch sold out pretty much immediately, and we actually have sold quite a few of these, but none have ever made it to the website, so I'm excited to bring this one to you guys and girls. So let's show it on wrist and taught dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. So it is on the slightly larger size, but it still wears really, really well. What you're looking at is 40mm by 46.5mm lug to lug, 13.5mm thick, and 21mm lug. So a little awkward on that lug length, but again, you have 3 strap options to choose from, straight from the manufacturer. So there'll be something for you for sure. But go check this one out on the website today. From there, let's go over to a Furlan Mari. I mean, a lot of you guys and girls know I love this watch. Obviously, you've got Francois Bourgeot inspired case. Francois Bourgeot, my favorite case maker, and I own a couple of watches with cases made by him. I remember when this was released, I was actually one of the early Kickstarter people before it got even close to their desired goal, and then obviously I think it went to 1 million, which was just insane. Yeah, really great watch. Let's take a closer look. Next up, the Furlan Mari, and this is the Mare Blue, as it's called, which obviously is the blue dial reference. This is completely unworn, unused, with its box and paperwork, obviously from 2022 when it was released. The reference is 20201, and inside is a Seiko Mecha Quartz beating away behind that really nice nut case back. A lot of you guys and girls know I absolutely love these models, and you can see the case profile very reminiscent of the Francois Bourgeot cases. Now, as a strong Mido Movado collector, this to me is perfect. I actually owned one of these back in the day when it was first released, and I unfortunately did sell it. But I do regret it, and I think I'll probably end up with one of these again in the collection, or again I'll just try and find more vintage Francois Bourgeots, because the vintage speaks to me a little bit more, but this is still fantastic. So let's show it rested on wrist and taught dimensions. So here we go, rested on my 7-inch wrist. You can see it looks absolutely fantastic, perfectly proportioned for a chronograph like this. What you're looking at is 37.5mm by 45.5mm lug to lug, 11mm thick, and 20mm on the lug, so endless options. And obviously you've got the case reference and number and everything stated between the lugs, which is a really nice little touch as well. I think attention to detail is incredible on the Furlan Maris, and they're continuing to do that with some of their latest releases as well. So go check this one out on the website today. From there to a 6309 Seiko Turtle. These are classic. We actually have one on the website currently, and that one has a better condition bezel. So it's good to have the two options. You've got something that has more sort of wear and sort of character, and the other one also has wear and character but is slightly better condition. So you can choose between the two. It comes down to personal preference. I love when these divers look like this personally, and I know some of you don't, so the other one is there for you if that's your taking. So let's take a closer look. Next up, another Seiko 6309 Turtle. I love these turtles. As a lot of you know, I'm a big fan of the Seiko Turtle. It's one of my favorite lines from Seiko. However, the modern iterations, they make so bloody many, and there's so many different colors, variants. There's the King Turtle, there's the Captain Willard reissue. There's just so many to choose from, and I like a lot of them, and I don't want 10 modern Seikos personally. So for me, a 6309 7040 like this is perfect, because under £500 you're getting yourself a beautiful and amazing piece of diving history. And if you get one like this, you've got some patina and charm and some wear to the bezel, which looks really, really good in my opinion. We have got another one on the website which is slightly cleaner than this one in terms of the bezel. So again, you can make the choice of which one you prefer. It has the nice date as well, with the block date and also English as well that you can rotate between. So it has Roman numerals all the way up to Sunday, which is a red block, which I've always thought is really, really cool. So as I say, 6309 7040 is the reference, and inside is obviously the automatic Seiko caliber 6309. This one is from circa July 1981, and that can be dated via the reference and serial on the case. So a potential birth year for someone watching, and that's what a lot of people do when it comes to Seikos. I know my father has a birth year and month Seiko, a very special one as well in his collection. So yeah, Seikos make it nice and easy to be able to determine that. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. You can see, don't be put off by the case size. You see 43.5 mil, and a lot of people go, that's way too big. But as you can see on my 7-inch wrist, this wears perfectly. Yes, it is a wide watch, but it wears nice and short thanks to the lug to lug. But yeah, dimensions. 43.5 mil by 45 mil lug to lug, only 12.5 mil thick, obviously added thickness because of the NATO, and 22 mil on the lug, so tropic rubber straps or leather straps. I personally quite enjoy it on a NATO. I think that looks really good. I don't wear a lot of watches on NATOs, as a lot of you will know, but this is one I totally would. So go check it out on the website today. And last but by no means least, a Seiko Presage limited edition. Really cool power reserve on the dial. I love the dial color on this. I hope the camera is going to pick it up. And you've got this yellow gold case. I do have to state it is yellow gold because of the colors of the strap and the dial. Sometimes it makes the case look rose, but it isn't. It is yellow, and it's really, really beautiful. So let's take a closer look at this. Next up, a awesome Seiko Presage, part of the cocktail line range, and as you can see, you've got that beautiful textured sort of cappuccino dark coffee dial. I don't know what you want to call it, but it has a beautiful texture to it. The color is fantastic, and this watch with its complication is really nice as well. You have a power reserve indicator right there on the dial, and you have the date stated down there at the bottom. I'm running seconds, of course. This is the SSA 392J1 and a limited edition of 8,000 pieces total. Nice exhibition case back showcasing the automatic Seiko caliber 4R57 paired on a glossy brown strap with a gold plated deployment. Something to make note of is this is yellow gold. Sometimes it can look rose, but I promise you it is yellow gold plated. Nice Seiko signed crown right there as well. A really beautiful watch and really dressy on this strap. However, you pair it down with like a nice brown suede or brown strap in general, it will, something that's not so glossy, it will totally tone this down to a t-shirt and jeans kind of watch. And I think for the money, you really cannot go wrong with this. With Christmas coming up, this will be a perfect gift for yourself or for someone you really like. So 2022, box and papers that show on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. Really good looking watch. If I was in the market for a yellow gold watch that was affordable and dressy, I'd probably jump on this. So what you're looking at is 40 mil by 47 mil lug to lug, 14.5 mil thick and 20 mil on the lug, so nice and easy to swap out for something a bit more wearable, but really, really gorgeous and well worth every penny. So go check it out on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls. This week's drop, 11 watches, 11 fantastic watches to choose from, something for everyone. And in terms of drops and watches, we have a lot coming soon, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. We are going to be having a drop on the 24th, Saturday the 24th of December, right before Christmas. Obviously, we're going to do that well in advance, so we won't be in the office, but the video and the drop and everything will go up as usual. And then we actually have on the 31st of December a drop as well, which we're working on. And again, we're going to do our best to get that done as far in advance and get it all ready for you guys and girls. So that means 2 more drops for the rest of this year. And there's going to be really some fantastic watches. We've worked really hard to bring variety, and as I say, there's going to be something for everyone in there, from modern to vintage to affordable to something truly luxurious from incredible brands. It's what we're trying to achieve here at Kibble Watches, so it's going to be an exciting end to the year, and as I say, 2 more drops to go, which is very, very cool. So thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. Take care.